Here we go. Are you ready for our free weekly live coaching session? I am super psyched to bring this to you because I can help you on so many different levels, so many different topics that we're going to be covering. You just need to bring your end of the deal. You show up, you ask the questions that you need coaching on, and I get to you. I get you coaching. I get you looking at your brain and how your brain is working and how you make decisions and how you put things together in order to get the results that you're getting in this reality. So if you don't like the results you're getting, this coaching is for you. So if you're jumping on, please say hi and let me know where you are watching from. And also, if you're watching the replay, please put a hashtag replay for me, and then I can give you a shout out. Firstly, I want to know in the comments if this is the first time you're being coached by me. Let me know so that I can celebrate you. And if you have been coached by me before, let me know so that I can celebrate you. It's going to be awesome. So I'm not going to wait until a whole lot of people jump on. I'm going to get straight into it so that we can get this coaching sorted. I am going to be coaching on achieving your goals, which is something that is really tricky for all of us. Beginning of the year, we set up all these new goals and we want to achieve so much and we're so motivated. Something happens along the way and we never quite know what it is that happens. So this is what I just want to bring you up to speed on. I want you to show you your mind so that you can start questioning a whole lot of things that you can just approach it and dive into it and take it on into your life, apply it in your life, and then ultimately achieve your goals, badass. Okay, so why it is so hard. Always you need to think of your brain as in two parts. You've got your primitive brain, which is right at the back, and then you've got your prefrontal cortex. Your primitive brain is exactly what it means and what it says. It is from the primal days, from when you were a caveman and it was all about fight or flight. It is trying to keep you safe, and its ultimate function is survival. That is what it does. That is what your primitive brain does. Now, your prefrontal cortex is where it's more of your modernized brain. I feel my fringe is so long, it's tickling my eyelids. Time for a snip. Okay, so your prefrontal cortex is where you make your decisions, where you can override the sense of fear before stepping into a goal, the sense of fear before taking action, the sense of confusion. You work through all of that with your prefrontal cortex. And you can very much link your primitive brain to instant gratification. Okay, and that is why you procrastinate. That is why you rather have the cookie or the chocolate bar instead of a green smoothie. Because you are wired for instant gratification. Why? Your primal brain is trying to keep you safe. Your primal brain is trying to keep you in comfort, because that is where you are super safe. The minute you step out the cave and step into fear, your primal brain just keeps going, danger, 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 alert, alert, we are going to die. And nowadays, not so much. You are just going to maybe step into a fear and then achieve your goals, which is where your prefrontal cortex comes in, feeling and being aware of the urge. Now, what does that even mean? So say, for example, let's take the diet, because I mentioned cookies, okay? When you reach for that cookie, I want you to feel in your body, what are you feeling? Because there's a thought process going through your body, creating that feeling, the action being, I'm going to have a cookie anyway. And if you can tap into feeling the urge of having the cookie versus instant gratification of just, oh, it doesn't matter, I'm going to have it anyway, it's going to make no difference. No one's even going to know. I'm going to do it in secret. You know what? You're not doing it in secret because you're just cheating yourself. And when you can tap into your prefrontal cortex, that is exactly when you just allow the urges. Very often with my private one-on-one coaching clients, I give them a jar and we either fill it with slips of paper that they have to write on or little pebbles, whatever it is. And I teach them that whenever they feel the urge, and they can sit in that emotion and go, you know what? I'm simply experiencing a human emotion. And I'm good with that. I'm fine to experience all the emotions, from the sadness to the anger to the fear, and then pushing through joy, love, happiness, peace, connection, whatever it is, empowerment that you want to experience. But when you grab into that instant gratification, you are not experiencing the urges. So it could be starting a business, it can be asking for a raise, it can be something in your relationship that you have to fix, it can be going on a date, whatever it is. So whatever the goal is that you have, tap into what are those urges, what is the instant gratification that you give into, and then coming back to that urge jar that I was talking about, you start filling the urge jar every time you don't give into the urge. And what happens is your brain is so satisfied seeing the urges that could have been in your tummy, on your hips, or whatever it is, making a sales call, sending an email, anything that's uncomfortable that you don't want to do towards your goal, the action you take towards your goal. When you, excuse me, when you give into the urge, you are that much further away from your goal, right? When you fight the urge and you listen to the urge and you just sense it and you just sit in that urge for a little bit longer and you start going into your mind in curiosity. Why do I feel this? What is the fear coming up? What is it that I need to understand of this fear in order to do it anyway? Go into your brain saying, primal brain, primitive brain, I'm not going to die. I will be fine without the cookie. Does this make sense, guys? Type something in the comments if you're watching so that I know that this whole concept is certainly making sense, because I want to start moving on and I want to ask you to type for me, regardless if you're watching live or later on the replay, what is a goal that you're struggling with right now? Like what is it that you just can't seem to puzzle together? What is it that you are hiding from, that you aren't stepping into? What is the specific kind of goal? Because that will also guide me and show me what it is that I can teach you next. And we can just keep diving deeper and deeper into the coaching so that you can ultimately achieve your badass goal. That is my plan for you. I want everyone to achieve their goal. There are 90 days, little less than 90 days left in the year. This is the fourth quarter. Everyone starts slowing down. How about you be the one that starts going and you start saying, you know what? Now I'm going to lose 5 kilos before December, before the end of the year. What are you going to do before the end of the year? Do you want to achieve a commission as a money goal? Do you want to achieve, oh my gosh, whatever the goal is? So write it down for me. Please don't be scared to participate. That is the only way I'm going to be able to coach you live from your questions. Okay, so if you can tell me what your money goal, do you want to make an extra $5,000? What is your money goal? Not even necessarily up until the end of the year. What is a goal that you have been wanting to achieve? Has it been a vacation? Has it been a new house, a new car? Has it been health-wise in your body? So whatever it is, jot it down for me. Okay, so let's carry on. Then I want you, this is like really good homework for you. Let me just take a slip here. This is good homework for you, is to get that goal up and see it and really just become aware of, you know what, I'm making the decision. I really need to get to this goal and make it work. This is going to be life-changing for me. Then I want you to have a look at obstacle thoughts. So obstacle thoughts are like, write down exactly what are your obstacle thoughts. What is the fear coming up or fears that's coming up? Write down what you think is stopping you from achieving this goal. So if it's diet and you think, you know what, it's never worked for me, why will it work? Write that thought down. I don't have a smoothie maker, a blender, so I can't make smoothies. I don't have money to buy organic foods. Whatever it is, if that's diet related. So your first thing is homework after the live, and you can even do it now so that I can see some obstacle thoughts. Again, I can coach you if you open up and you let me know. Like write down those obstacle thoughts. I want you just to do a thought download. A thought download that I always talk about is when you just clear your mind. You put it all on paper, because once your mind is clear, you can step back as a third party and go, okay, this makes sense. This says we can find clarity here, we can find solutions. But while it's rumbling on in your brain, you're never going to achieve that goal. Okay, so obstacle thoughts. Number 2, I want you to find evidence to prove the obstacle thoughts wrong. Where's my code? The thoughts, but these thoughts are your obstacle thoughts. Okay, do you get that? Does that make sense? So I want you to prove these thoughts wrong. Okay, so if you are saying, let's go back to the diet example. If you are saying, diets never work for me, have you ever lost half a kilo? Fine, and it's going to be the tiniest little bit of evidence, because your brain loves to overlook that. It's not big enough, it doesn't matter enough. And I can tell you half a kilo matters. If you lose half a kilo every week for the next 6 months, it's going to make a difference. So whether it is applying for a new job, and you have all these rambling thoughts on about they don't employ people of my color, they don't employ my sex, they don't employ my age, I'm too young, I'm too old, I don't have enough experience. All those are obstacle thoughts of why you can't ultimately achieve the goal. If you don't go through this process, your brain can't start finding solutions to all the obstacles. Another you see, my French is far too long. I'm really doing a little itch in my eyes. Another thing that I show my clients is how your brain focuses. You can train your brain to focus on whatever the hell you want it to focus. If you're not going to manage your mind, the most powerful tool that you have in your grasp, honestly, that you own it. You are the one that gets to choose how it functions. So if you put data in and you tell your brain, focus on this thing, I promise you it's going to find evidence of everything, and it's going to try and sort it, and it's trying to find solutions. But if you let it roam free, it's going to just find all the obstacles out of a fear-based reality, and it's going to keep you and withhold you. This is where procrastination comes in. It is simply acting out of fear. Okay, do you get it? So I really want you to find evidence of okay, so now I mentioned the job. So find evidence of people in that industry of your age, your race, your sexuality, whatever it is, whatever those obstacle thoughts was, find evidence. Tell your brain to go out and find evidence. Do the research. Just get into there. I want you to really take those obstacle thoughts and literally explode them and show your mind that that thought was only a thought. It's not a fact. That's where the power is. Okay. Then what you're going to do, and I'm going to show you how to do this, is you're going to fill in your unintentional model. Now, I coach very, very deeply in models, as we all have different models for different things, and sometimes we're not even aware of those models. So you're going to fill in your unintentional model, and this is where all those obstacle thoughts are going to come in. I'm going to show you exactly. I'll take the job, for example. And then after that, you're going to do an intentional model. So this is what you do want to create that reality. And this is the model you're going to come back every single time fear pops up. Every single time you have a weird thought, you're going to go back to this model, intentional model, because that is how you're going to create this badass goal of yours. So let me show you. I keep putting this different places. Okay. So I'm going to start with your unintentional model. I will excuse me, I will take the job thing for an example. Say like you're really bored in your job, or you're at a dead-end job, or you hate your job and you just feel like something new, or you're thinking of a new area to go off in. This is what we're going to do. So this is how I work the model. C is your circumstance. It will be new job. Okay, it's super neutral. There's no facts about it. There's no right or wrong. People can't have different opinions about it. Your C is very neutral. It is find a job, or we can say new job. Okay, you guys following? I need some comments. I can see you watching. I need some comments. Okay, so that's your new job. So now how the model runs down is circumstance, thought, feeling, action. Let's see, can you still see me? And finally, your result. Okay, so your result, the result that you ultimately want is to find a new job, right? Now, I'm going to take you through your unintentional model. So a model that is keeping you from finding the new job. Okay, so your thought on that could be just a couple of thoughts that I was talking about. So it could be I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I'm female, or I don't have the skill, like all sorts of things, okay? Or the market's saturated and they don't hire anymore. Whatever your thoughts of, these are your obstacle thoughts. And that's when you did your thought download, then you can go and take one thought and you can start working on an unintentional model. If you realize that this thought could very well possibly stop me from creating, oh guys, I wish I cut this before from creating your goal. If you do this work, I promise you, your goal is going to be right there. You need to do the deeper work in order to understand what it is that is keeping you from pushing forward. So say we take any of those thoughts. You would normally just have one thought per model. Otherwise, it could get quite confusing. I'm just putting a couple of examples down for you. Okay, so then we're going to get on to feeling. When you think these thoughts about getting a new job, when you think these thoughts, how do you feel? Now, what comes to mind for me would be for sure discouragement. You're feeling discouraged. You can feel even a little bit angry, right? Frustrated. Can you see? You can fill in all the emotions that you start going through. Every single thought in the world that you have is always going to create, listen and hear me on this, it's going to create a feeling, an emotion in your body, and then you take action from that emotion, which creates your reality every single time. If you're going to have an obstacle thought, a bad thought, a negative thought about anything, an opinion about something, what feeling is it creating your body? Because that is the action you're taking and you're getting that result. So this is what I want to show you, that if you're feeling, because of a thought, that all these things are obstacles, your feeling is discouraged and you're feeling frustrated, what kind of action are you ultimately going to be taking? Probably not much action at all, you know? So you're going to do nothing about it. Yes? Why? Because you feel like maybe you're too old, or maybe you're too young, or maybe you don't have skill, or maybe you're not the right color or the right sex. All these thoughts that go through finding a new job. It's just all that fear. Mind you, that is also very good. You're fearful because of all those thoughts running through your mind. So the action, you're rather just not going to do anything. You do nothing about it and you procrastinate. What is your result going to be because of that? No new job, right? You stay in the same job. Can you see that this is your unintentional model, because it's running in the background. It's almost like on default. This is your primitive brain taking over from a place of fear, from a place of scarcity, insecurity. Okay, so I'm going to do the same new job. We want to find a new job. So that's our circumstance. I'm going to do an intentional model, and this is where you're going to shift from the one model to the next that is going to drive you into taking action to get a new job, or to lose the weight, or to become healthy, or to do something amazing in life, or, you know, whatever that goal is. So whatever your goal is, this is what you're going to do for yourself. You start with all your obstacle things. Okay, so your C line, circumstance, stays the same. There's no facts about it. So there's no opinions about it. There's no emotion in it. So it's just, I want a new job, finding a new job. Okay. Then I want to know, for you to create the reality, new job, yes, what would you have to feel in order to create that? So if you can just like think for a moment, like what kind of feelings would come up for you if you think this is the result I want, this is the goal I want, this is so exciting, I'm going for it. You are going to feel motivated. Feel free to comment there and help me out. Feel free to drop comments. I hope there aren't any comments, because sometimes Facebook lags with their comments. Okay, so you're going to feel motivated. You're going to feel driven. You're going to feel driven to do something. You are so excited. Oh, well, that's another one. You are so excited to get into a new job. It's a new pay raise. It's a skill level. It's all of these things. That motivation is going to drive you into what? What is your action line? When you are feeling motivated instead of discouraged, where you want to do nothing and you're lethargic, and you procrastinate, and you sit in front of the TV and rather have another bag of potato crisps and blah, 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 okay? Your intentional model becomes motivated and driven and excited to find a new job. Okay, what action would you start taking? Even though it comes from fear and you're going, you know, it doesn't matter, I can feel fear, I can give into an urge because I'm motivated, driven, excited, and all the feelings that you're writing down. I think you could easily send 10 CVs each week. Okay. What else could you do? You could do social posts, social media posts in Facebook groups. Yes? You can even post on your private page, right? You could speak to friends. You can ask them to send your CV on. You can up your skill level. Can you see suddenly there's so many actions to take that will drive into this new job? Because the action is where the power comes from. Without that action, it ain't going to be a new job, you know, unless you're like, I don't know, really lucky when someone just offers you something. Now, where the most powerful piece to the puzzle is in your model every time, what creates a result? Ultimately, what you think about it. So what would you have to think in order to feel motivated, in order to do all this action that's going to be super scary and you're not going to feel like it? What would you have to think? You could think, you can think a whole lot of different things. You could think, for example, someone is going to see my value. Okay, someone out there is actually waiting to hire me as the perfect person. you could just fill that in. You can just keep going. Like, what thought is resonating with you? What thought really helps you become motivated, driven, excited, whatever it is that you need to be in order to create the new job, in order to make more money, in order to lose the weight, in order to buy the new car, to fix your relationship with your spouse. Oh, it's my anniversary today, by the way. It's 14 years. Strong as ever. Talking about spouses. So that is, what do I have to think in order to create my result? Because the thinking every single time is going to drop into your body, and you're going to have a feeling. You act from that feeling. So when you are in your unintentional model, where you're demotivated and you're miserable as hell, and you find fault with everything, and your brain can only focus on fear, lack, dying, and all the crap things, you could shift and go, you know what? I get to have power over my thoughts and my reality. I promise you, nobody has power over your results. No circumstance has power over your results. Only you and your thinking has. Excuse me. Let me take a sip. Only you and your thinking will ever have power over your results. Because if you want something bad enough, you will totally make a plan to go and get it. My coach and mentor once said that if a drug addict doesn't have money for his next fix, do you think he's going to sit back and go, oh, well, that's life. I'm going to procrastinate and I'm just going to veg and be miserable? No, he wants his next fix. It's like the most badassest thing that he wants. He's going to make it happen. And they make it happen in the most scariest ways. I don't even want to go into it. They do whatever the hell it takes. Now, why can't you be that driven and motivated about your goal? So that's all I want to leave you with for today. I don't want to go over. How long have we been? Just about 30 minutes. If there's any questions, please feel free to post it in the group in Amplified, and I'll get back to you anything on what we discussed today. This is this week's topic. Next week, Tuesday, we'll have a new topic. So anything that you want to know on this specific goal setting and how to work your intentional models, awesome. Drop your comments, ladies. This is where your coaching is. If you want coaching, better ask for it. And then if you at any stage want to take it a step even further into coaching and get like one-on-one personal time with me, drop me a comment, send me a message, and let me set up a call with you where we can just assess your life properly and see where you are, where you want to get to, and how the hell we get you there. We can do a whole assessment on that for you. So that is if you want to dive even deeper into whatever it is that you want. I'm here to show you how to fall in love with your life. I'm here to show you what is possible. Stop thinking in impossibility. It's all about possibility. So I'm going to say goodbye. I loved coaching you on this. Please send me all your questions if you have any. If you want to know anything, don't ever be fearful of what others will say. You know what? They aren't achieving their goals. If you want to achieve yours, then do whatever it is that you need to do to get there. Be driven and motivated. Be excited. I love you guys like crazy. Have a fantastic Tuesday. I will see you in the group, and I'll see you next week, Tuesday, for more coaching, baby. Over and out. Keep well. Bye-bye.